they may not have one starter week one. Their cornerback, Emmanuel Moseley. I'm not sure what his injury is yet. Shanahan didn't talk yesterday, but Moseley didn't practice yesterday. And he had a hamstring injury earlier in camp. Didn't practice yesterday, and the Niners signed Josh Norman, who has been a starting corner in the league for a long time. He's 33. I'm guessing that there's a question of whether or not Emmanuel Moseley is going to start week one. And the reason I bring this up and why it's significant is we've been talking all offseason about how corner is by far the thinnest position on the defense. And if they had to play any games without some starters, it could get dicey. I don't think Josh Norman's going to cost them the Detroit game, but we don't know. I mean, a lot of times it's a 3-week injury, a hamstring thing. So this is very significant.
It could be, and it reinforces a point that we've been really knocking, is that they've been very casual about cornerback in the throwing league.
I don't understand that. And it seems like it's one of the four most important positions on a team: quarterback, offensive tackle, defensive end, and corner. You need a lot of good ones. And the thing that's so hard about them is they really usually need to be young and fast, because it's the most athletically demanding position on the field. You got to be chasing around the best wide receivers of the league. So that means you kind of need to draft them every year pretty high. You should spend a first, second, or third round pick on a corner every year. And the Niners don't do that. They like to get free corners in free agency. They like to get the guys who are 28, 29, 30, 33, who used to be good or been hurt a little bit. And with Jason Verrett, it worked out. But usually it doesn't. And it's like you're kind of shopping at secondhand stores, you know?
I agree. And what they do instead is build up their defensive line all the time. I think there should be more balance in their thinking.
Absolutely, because what happens is when they face a quarterback like Kyler Murray, who's quicker than all the defensive linemen and can kind of just run around and get outside the pocket and avoid all that pressure, now the entire success of your defense on that play comes down to the guys in coverage.
Same with Russell Wilson.
Yes. So it's great to have defensive linemen. I mean, they're going to make Aaron Rodgers' life very difficult week 3. And if they ever face Tom Brady, it'll make his life difficult. But once the mobile quarterback gets away from those defensive linemen, they don't matter anymore. They don't matter. Yeah. And that's the way the league is going. That's what Trey Lance is going to be able to do, theoretically.
If they let him do it.
If they let him do it. So I don't know if there's any – I don't blame the 49ers for Emmanuel Moseley's injury. These things happen in football. He got himself hurt. But this is a big problem. And I think one of the ironies is that the Niners have really insulated themselves at quarterback. It's like, we're not going to play any games without Trey Lance or Jimmy. We're going to have one or the other. And that should be, well, you're so thin at cornerback, though. And it's not as important of a position, but it's very important. And now you need Josh Norman, who wasn't on your team in training camp, to potentially step in week 1 and play well. Now, good news is they don't have good wide receivers on Detroit. He should be okay. But now you need him.
Iggy, I blame. Now, blame is a very hard word because I don't have any emotional involvement, but I'm going to use blame because you had used it. I blame the Niners for 2 things. I blame them for being too casual about cornerback, and I blame them for not resolving their quarterback situation before the season starts. I blame them for that.
Yes.
I mean, Bill Belichick, we don't know what's going to happen. He resolved it, and he made a very daring move. He got rid of Cam Newton. He was decisive. He was everything that Kyle Shanahan wasn't.
Absolutely. And I think that there's an attitude in the Niners organization right now that they're going to win the Super Bowl. The only reason they didn't win the Super Bowl last year is because they were hurt. And the only reason they didn't beat the Chiefs is because the refs robbed them. And that they, as is, are going to win the Super Bowl. We'll see. But I think that there's a little bit of that attitude in the organization right now. We're going to win.
Well, God love them.
God love them. Will this year's defense rival 2012? It's a great defense. Also, their weakness was cornerbacks as well. The Niners, it's their thing. Maybe. This is a good defense. If Nick Bosa stays healthy, D Ford stays healthy, maybe. It's a good question.
Know who they don't have?
Who?
Defoe.
Defoe. They don't have Defoe. That's right. Dean says they have Demo, though. They have a new guy named Demo, and they have D Ford. So they have variations.